Okay. Don't know why that desktop audio was off, but... Alright, so we're getting started. Just let me take care of a few things, as per usual. Take care of a few... Okay, sorry, didn't want to... Wanted to prevent the looping, so... Almost forgot to repost the stream ad right before the stream, so... hopefully people see it. I usually try to repost it maybe 20 minutes before things start, but today it was 4 minutes before things started, so yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'm still about to get things started, so... Okay. Get back to OBS, and hopefully I'm good, so... No, actually, let's start on the getting... Yes, this... No, I don't know what I'm talking about, but hello everybody, it's me, Varia the Burning Ghost. Thank you for coming to my stream today. I hope you're all doing well. My day has been alright so far. Honestly, I just woke up pretty tired, but, that's kind of par for the course at this point. However, yesterday was pretty fun. I got to go to the zoo, so... I did post a couple of photos on Blue Sky, so, I did get to see some cool birds. Sorry, I'm just, flashing through everything. That first piece was, just what I was doing right before the stream. I was, doing some more bird studies, because I do want to get a bit better at drawing animals. Actually, I guess I could figure beforehand I was doing this flamingo study, but I'm not really happy with where this is going. I feel like the colors look kind of unappealing right now, so I'll have to figure that out, and that's just a sketch, so. But yeah, this is the piece that I'm actually going to be doing today, so. I did a basic color plan for this, so. Yeah, I got a rough idea of what I want. I'm still not entirely sure if this is how I want to do things, but yeah, just kind of a mix between cool colors and cool colors and warm colors. I'm still not sure if I'm pleased with this. I feel like these trees right here could be a bit more neutral looking because they're not the center. Well, the stronger difference, the stronger jump should be between the head and the clothes, but you know what, let's just get started, everyone. So let's try to not drag this out too long, I need to say. I'm going to try and see what I can do with some stronger colors, so. I'm going to start out with this. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Okay, let's try that again. So, what I originally wanted was kind of actually I'll make these, start off with these being darker. But yeah, I'm still a little bit indecisive. So I have the color plan below, so. And I'm going to make a clipping mask. I'm going to try and start with the gradients for the different parts. And then I'll build off on that when I get to the actual rendering stage, so. Yeah. So there should be some, oops. Dang it, okay, hold on. That was on the base layer, not the clipping mask, so whoopsie-daisy. But yeah. Should be a mysterious source behind him. Probably just more of the swamp. Honestly, right now it looks really saturated, but hopefully when I get further along it doesn't look as intense. I could always tone it down later on, so. Yeah, I'm not entirely used to this art style, so. By art style, I mean just kind of these strong shadows and cleaner style. But yeah, I've sort of been in the mood for cleaner art because of what I've been doing this past art fight. It felt kind of nice just being able to just using clean outline art that I can actually use the fill tool for. I think that's the big thing for me, is just the fill tool, so. Okay, so I'm just gonna put down some brush strokes. I thought maybe I could add some, it might be interesting if I, sorry, I'm not the best at explaining my ideas, but I was thinking maybe I could have a rougher texture in the base colors, and that could make things a little more interesting. So it'd be kind of a combination of a clean style, yet at the same time not so clean style. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. So I'm just gonna merge this down for now. And you know what? Let me do the hair first. So, you know, kind of jumping between the different parts. I actually really like how this hair color came out. Hold on. I should hide the base though, so I can actually tell what I'm doing right here. You know, I gotta try and make this look clean. But I think the main source of light should be from the background, so yeah, I did not plan this piece out very well. I mean, I did like kind of create it on screen. You know, did the whole sketch thing on screen last time. But yeah. And you know, I meant to do some more artwork yesterday, but I went to the zoo, so you know, that kind of didn't end up happening. I actually had the time after, available time afterwards, but I was like so tired and hungry because the weekend kind of beat me up again. So yeah, I've been struggling with work as per usual. So I was like pretty tired. My mother and I, we went together, and you know, it was we woke up pretty early so we could get there at a decent time. Because apparently yesterday when we were about to leave, it said that the trip there would take like 3 hours, but it wasn't actually that long when we went down. We're not really sure why the time changed, but you know, maybe there was just like worse traffic on the weekend, or an accident or something. Okay, so what? But yeah, I did get to see a bunch of cool animals. Okay, right now I'm gonna make a clipping mask and start applying the gradients. So let's zoom out a bit. And this is kind of a purpley color. I'm actually going to try and make it more saturated, or a smidge more saturated. And maybe erase some of it. So right now the top is the base color, but I'm going to, like, as I said, lower the saturation. Actually, I'm going to set it as an overlay, so it still has that warmth to it. Because technically the hair should be one of the warmer parts, even though it's you know, still very desaturated and grayish. But yeah, actually lower even more. Okay, and then I'm gonna do another one. This time for some lighter color. So actually I'm gonna put a really more saturated color at the core shadow, so kind of reflect some subsurface scattering. And then just lighten this up. And then afterwards I can probably cool it down, but that's sort of a later problem. Okay. So yeah, oops. Was this supposed to be a part of the background? Actually, oh yeah, it was actually. Actually, I think so. Sorry, I keep saying actually. It's probably kind of annoying. I can't help it, dang it. Okay. So that's one. Let's do these later part of his clothes right here. So I'm gonna take both the light and dark color for now, and then I will. Okay, that's not supposed to be a clipping mask, but. And of course I'll just use the lighter, start with the lighter version because it stands out a bit more, but then Now I'll make a clipping mask, and yeah, I can probably start slathering a lot more of the darker color. So probably I used the wrong color just now, so I have to come in with this. So, all right. So yeah, just kind of cleaning this up. And just put a basic gradient. So it's definitely not the most exciting thing to look at the moment, but you know, we'll get there. Everyone, okay, that's not what I wanted to do. So try to erase some of this. I want to see a bit on the top too. Okay. So yeah, I think that's the first part. Merge down. And probably start working on these. Sorry, I'm trying to decide on what to do next. You know, there is one color I forgot to put in, and it's sort of a gold color. I don't know, I'll take from the... Okay, sorry, I can't explain myself. I'll just put these down and probably make... No! Sorry. I hit the line art, which kind of screws things up a lot. Yeah, I don't know if you guys could see it, but there was a bit of a crunchiness that came around all of the line art, and that was not good, so I had to fix that real quick. Okay. Sorry, it was about to... Nothing was happening, and I realized I just hit the... I was using the wrong color. Okay. Of course, this isn't going to be the base right now, but... Trying to kind of combine some aspects. So let's make a clipping mask. Since this is warm... Hold on. Okay. And yeah, I'll just mix in various colors. So maybe a bit of purple. A little bit of the greenish color. So. And I can probably mix it up with the wet weed blender. So. Okay, hold on, guys. Not mixing as much as I wanted. Okay. Make another clipping mask, and I'll just use the hair colors again, and then I'll use make it all of this, make it a multiply layer. So it's really dark right now, but as I lower the opacity, kind of hides things. All right, so I'll merge both of these down, and I need to name this layer metal. So metal. Okay. Sorry, just stretching a little bit. Sorry, I'm just kind of wondering if things are working. Let me just check what's going on. Okay. Make sure things are functioning here. Yeah, I think it's okay, so hopefully. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Maybe I can work on the trees next. I forgot to name the shirt layer, so whoops. Shirt and collar layer. Okay, so how about I do the trees now? Oh, I forgot to name the background layer. That too. Okay. Alright, so... right. I'm gonna let's see how it looks more neutral. That's not what I meant. Okay. Yeah, I made that a clipping mask, sorry. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just trying to decide on what to do. You know, I probably don't even need those guides. But yeah, I'll work as this Okay, I'll start off with the base here. Should probably, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to do it manually because it's so much is going on down here. Okay. So, yeah, mix it up. I'm not mixing it up, I'm just filling it in. Okay. Okay, so I'll probably, yeah, this works here. All right. And, let's see, so I'll make these, hold on. Not that purple, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to make the back ones a bit more cooler, or a bit cooler colored. And I'll probably honestly, let's start with the clipping mask. So I'll do the first one, so, you know, away from the basic light source, just kind of using the darker color. Of course, I want to add more of a little bit more warm tones too, because of the, to show that it's closer, because that's a part of color theory, is warmer colors will draw more attention, so, which will make something look like it's closer. And then cool colors will actually push it back. And yeah. By the way, if I get done with this too early, like, I don't think I'll get done with this too early, but if I do, I might actually continue that swan study, so. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this, I probably did, but I do plan on making a swan OC too, so. Kind of like the flamingo man that I made. But yeah, so. Okay, let's just go ahead and start adding the room lighting. So right now I'm doing this as a clipping mask. Let's have this as overlay. Okay, overlay did not work. Oops. That might be a little too saturated. Okay, but yeah, the room lighting will need to be a bit cooler colored, so. Technically, since the background seems to look like a cooler color, the sort of bluish tone, I realized that the shadows are probably going to need to be a warm tone, so either reddish or orangish, either a reddish or orange color. I'm not sure if I'll go through with that though. Because fun fact about color theory, or another color theory fact, is that this is something that's based on how our brain kind of registers colors rather than actually being impacted by how it actually is, but basically when you have a colored light, the shadows will appear to be the complementary colors, so. Yeah, I kind of learned this from a book first, but also we went over it when I was in community college in my drawing class. But yeah, I think our brains kind of sort of fills in the complementary color. Because, as I said, it doesn't look like that in actuality. So yeah, you can actually get yellow cast shadows. Of course I say that, but it just dawned on me that's the cast shadows that are mostly affected. Oops. Oh well. Okay, I'm just gonna throw in some more of the purpley colors. Kind of slather it around. Just trying to make this look kind of textured in the base. I actually added a noise layer initially, but I don't know. You guys can't really see it that well, I don't think. But Yeah, also let me just center this. Sorry, I've been just dawned on me that this isn't very centered. Of course I say that like I'm not about to move on. Okay. Yeah, let's just move on. Well, no. Actually, I'll blend these out. Yeah, I wonder if this is gonna look okay. This isn't, as I said before, this isn't the most thought out art piece of mine, so. Okay. So let's just do the skin next. Which I think is mostly a grayish color. Kind of wondering if I want to go through with grayish or not. Because he is like a Doulahan, he is like an undead, so I figured that he should have a grayish skin. I don't know, maybe I can start with gray and kind of mix in some other colors. Yeah, I just noticed that his skin doesn't really stand out all that much, so. Hold on, let me name the tree layer, so trees. Yeah, you guys can't see my layers, but they're kind of starting to add up. Oops, I never named the hair layer either. I named none of my layers. Oops. Okay. Hair. So let's now do the skin. Okay, should probably hide this, and then I'll just start adding the skin colors in. And I'll just fill in the skull layer as the same right now. Okay. So, yep. Oops, almost forgot this little bit. Oop. So that is the base. And, yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to figure things. Oh, I missed a part. Missed a spot. Okay. Okay. So let's make a clipping mask. Our first one. Just kind of. Oops. Just do this right now. To add more gradients. But also, I probably want to add more details as well. So I'm going to zoom out and kind of take this purpley color from the trees. So what I'm doing is first I want to add some these. I set as overlay. Actually, no, not as overlay. I think I want it more desaturated too right now. So kind of, I like to kind of go crazy with the shadows and stuff when I start. You know, these different, you know, adding a bunch of different colors to the skin and all that. Okay, we do that for the lips too. Might do a little bit for the lips too. Try to give a deadish feeling, but I also want to throw in some of the, okay, not this one. Sorry, I forgot to lighten it up, but I'm going to add some more of the blue too. You know, a little bit like Varia. Maybe some purpley hints of a warmer tone too. So, and just desaturated it so it doesn't like look too crazy. Okay, and then I'm just gonna manually fill in the. Do it manually. I mean to say. Yeah, this. Want it to be more gray. Yeah, sorry, this is probably a bit boring, but just kind of fill this in, lighten it up a bit, and then I can add the base for the sclera. Yep. Yep, here we go. And looks like my coffee's about to get cold, so great. Great, great, great. Yeah, I'm just looking over everything. Trying to figure out what to do next. I feel like I'm going to need to add more of that warmish green eventually. I'm not sure when and where, but, you know, eventually. So let's just name the skin layer real quick, so I don't make sure I remember it. And then I will start working on the basic clothing, so, you know, all of this. So let's get the planning. And I'll start with the general color. So this. Technically it's supposed to be black, but, you know, I try not to work with, like, pure blacks or white. I try not to work with pure black in my art, so usually try to have it, like, offset by some sort of color, usually purple. Sorry, I just realized that that's not quite right. I'm gonna make this a lot darker, though. Okay, take this color back, just fill these in. And this end, by the way, there is an ad break coming, and I will probably be taking a short restroom break during then, because I forgot to do that before I started stream, so yeah. Okay, sorry, I kept switching layers, and it's just kept switching the art pieces, trying to find the original color. Hold on, I almost forgot. I actually need to add the gradient. Whoopsie. So do it down here, and I will lower the opacity a bunch so it's not invisible. Okay, so let's get that other shade. No, this one. And yeah, just kind of put this in. Okay. And I'm seeing that I missed a bunch of parts, so, or there's a lot of crunchies, I should say. Okay. Technically this little area should be gold, but, you know, it's I don't think anyone's going to look that closely to this. Yeah, okay, so just filling these in. And, that's most of it. Hold on. Yeah, this, skin here should be a bit darker, so. Or not the skin, the hands. Actually make the gloves look really dark. To really remind people of Arya. Actually, I don't want it to be quite that dark. Okay. Hold on. I got an idea. Just kind of lower the opacity of the fill bucket and, there. Okay. Wasn't reacting the first time. I also gotta make sure to finish this coffee pretty soon. First off, though, hold on. Sorry, just wondering if something weird was going on. Looks like there's more going on with just a little bit worried. Okay, it's probably not a big deal. I also noticed I missed a spot with these trees, so I'm just gonna use the wet. No. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, I was just gonna use the wet bleed blender. And okay, there's that. Oh, and I forgot this spot. I missed a lot of spots, didn't I? Okay, so zooming in and out rapidly, because of course. Okay, so now I'm going to add an overlay layer, and that will be just kind of add a little bit of a lighter color. Okay, so with the airbrush. maybe make it a bit bluer. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, lower the opacity and then merge. So I'll just name this clothing. There. Okay, the ad break is about to start, so I'll just go ahead and use the restroom real quick. So I'll be back pretty soon. It shouldn't be too long. But yeah, so BRB. Alright, so apparently I'm faster at that than I thought. Okay, and I missed another spot. Dang it. Okay, hold on. Yeah, just saying, ever help all the places that I missed. But you know what? Let's just make this one darker. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Huh. I guess I won't make it darker then. Ah, okay. That's fine, it's fine. Okay. You know, part of me wants to make this look less like a night scene, but I guess I should probably wait until I hit this. Yeah, so make it a little bit more green. Add a little bit more green to this. I try to make the bottom here a little bit mossy. And multiply. Okay, can't see that. Normal. Okay, it should be a lot darker. Yeah, like, I feel like moss would look, more moss here would look really cool. We'll have to see. Try to unify things. Yep, can't wait to explain myself when the ad ends, so. Okay, one, and welcome back, everybody. It's my return. But yeah, so I decided I'm probably going to make this look a little bit greener in some areas. So I should probably get these lily pads colored in first, of course. But yeah, I just feel like it'd look prettier if it were. Maybe not let it look as quite as nighttime, as deep into the night. I mean, fireflies tend to start going off when it's pretty soon after the sunset, so it usually is some light when they're out. Okay, but yeah, so let me just name this foliage. But yeah, I'm gonna add more. I'm gonna aim for more green, basically. Oh, sorry. I was wondering what the hell is going on with my paint bucket during my break. It's still on a lower opacity, so forgot to change that back. Oopsie. But yeah, I'm gonna make this greener. Okay. You know, I'm always a sucker for green. For a lot of delicious green. Green colors. No, and my name is Varia, the Viridian Ghost, after all. I guess I should probably also talk about the zoo a bit more. I don't know if you guys, how interested you guys are in that, but yeah, but basically I had a lot of fun with my fun there. There was basically American or North American, technically. It wasn't really just North American though. There were other animals, like animals from New Zealand and South America. Of course, the North America section could just be a little section, but yeah, and of course there was the Africa section, which was like the pretty large, because there's this big safari exhibit in the middle of it. So yeah. And the safari section was definitely kind of the star of the show. However, there were like various animals that I like to see in the earlier section. You know, basically the birds and all that. There was a hornbill near the restrooms where we started, or where we went to first, and yeah, that and a parrot. And I thought the hornbill was like super cool looking. I don't know, I guess I don't normally think about hornbills, but that animal was like really, you know, just kind of a little bit more majestic than I expected. I'll have the cattails as part of the foliage, sorry. Okay. Huh? Oh, dang it. Hold on. Screw that up. But yeah, it's really felt like it captured the idea of a dinosaur bird, which is I think a term that people like to use for birds that look a little more prehistoric. And yeah, I also really like the cassowary. Sorry. Yeah, the cassowary is a lot cooler than I expected. So you know, it's very much, a cassowary is very much a dino bird, as you might say, just because, you know, it has that skin that's revealed, and it was sitting right next to the fence, so I basically got a pretty good look at it. There's also the kookaburra and the owl, or barred owl, that they had, and they also, honestly, it was pretty easy to spot a lot of the animals. But yeah, they were kind of hanging out near the fence, or the edges of their enclosures, so that was really nice to see. You know, got a good look at a lot of the critters, and the only animals I don't think we got to see were the wolves. So, you know, unfortunately we missed out on those guys, but you know, I'm not really that broken up about it. I don't think I was ever a hardcore wolf fan, but yeah, I did get to see all the birds that they had, which is nice. They also had a little bit of a reptile slash amphibian house. So you got to see some cool frogs. They also had a really big reticulated python there, which is cool, which I liked seeing. I think reticulated pythons are supposed to be the longest snake in the world. I don't know about the biggest snake in general, though. But yeah, admittedly, with a lot of the animals, there was definitely like a bit of a I Spy situation. Like, there were a few creatures that we didn't get to see, or a few creatures that we almost didn't get to see. There was the... You know, we had to, like, kind of spot the cheetahs from a long distance. There was also a... Yeah, the cheetahs, trying to remember the guy. There's one animal, but I can't remember the name of it. And we kind of did that with some tree frogs and some turtles. You know, they were kind of hidden away in the shadows, or with a lot of the frogs, they were like up against up towards the top of their enclosure. So, yeah. Sorry, I tend to feel pretty self-conscious about the struggling to speak. I think that's all the color filling. Cool. And of course, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the placement of the fireflies yet, but no, I can probably worry about that later. I want to see if I can add some more of the spring color to the sections of the line art. Yeah, not entirely sure how to feel about it right now, but just trying to make it a little bit more, as we would say, visual interest and all that. Okay. Yeah, I think we might be okay for the actual rendering now, so... Try to finish this coffee off real quick. It's kind of crazy how cold it got. Also, I'm probably going to need that last protein bar pretty soon. I've been trying to eat more protein bars for my streams just because I get hungry pretty easily, so... I only have one left, though. It's still that I'm still going through the oatmeal raisin. You know, it was pretty good protein bar. I'll admit, I'm just not sure if it's my favorite, though. Hopefully next time they got more of the brownie, which is what I like. You know, the chocolate. I'm a big fan of... Sorry, I'm a big sucker for chocolate. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. Wondering if I should do more specific colors or not. Or shading. You know what? Yeah, I'll start with specific shading, and then I can do some over shading, or very general shading. Because I kind of already included the general shading with the gradient. But yeah. Definitely a little more out of my comfort zone than I thought it, or this art style that I'm working with. One disappointing thing about the zoo is that I probably should have researched well before we went there. It's just no flamingos. So, no, I was kind of hoping to see some flamingos around, but yeah, no flamingos. Nope. We finally got to see a bald eagle, though. So, you know, I said last stream that I wanted to see bald eagles on my little vacation, but saw none. But, you know, on this zoo trip, we did get to see some bald eagles. So, yeah, those guys were pretty big. But yeah, sometimes I see bald eagles out in the wild, so... Also, we might be going on another zoo trip this September. I don't know for sure, because, you know, we already went on one this summer, but yeah, hopefully to one of the bigger zoos. You know, the one we went to was pretty cool, but, you know, I had fond memories of the one we went to, because I used to be a part of Scouts, and we got to stay the night at that zoo once, so I kind of remembered it being bigger, but yeah, it wasn't quite as big as I remembered it. I realized I probably was thinking about another zoo, so. But yeah, so probably going to a zoo that's in Ohio. I'm not sure if I should say what zoo we plan on going to, but yeah. Also, there's a lot of crunchies right now, so I'm trying to deal with this. No, that's not the color I wanted. Okay, sorry. About to, like, rage on you guys. Okay. What? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, like, up against here, there's a purple. So I'm trying to figure out what's happening. Okay, so it sticks around when I... Yeah, I don't know why it's refusing to... Oh, there it goes. Yeah, sometimes I struggle. Sometimes I just struggle, dang it. Alright, hold on. Music stopped. Also looks like there's a bit of action happening on the Discord. I don't know what's going on. I'm tempted to look, but... Okay, hold on. Where's my playlist? Okay, there's the playlist. Yeah, sorry. No, I don't want to start with that. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, it's probably just stream alert. Yeah, it's probably just stream alerts. Okay. Yeah, so don't really want to go too detailed. Yeah, you know, like look away from you guys a little too long. Yeah, it's hard not to look at that stuff. Okay. So let me see. Yep, kind of filling this in. And start editing this area. You know, I'm also trying to think about the shapes in my art, or like shape language. I think I talked about this a bit before, but I've been trying to think about using more sharp shapes in my art, so maybe not necessarily sharp, but just to give you examples, some of these, you know, how this neck isn't perfectly, you know, smooth. You know, I'm trying to incorporate that a bit. I'm also trying to, like, use harder shadows too, so, you know, just try to make my art stick out a bit more. And I think I just need to practice doing that. Sometimes I just, you know, I say I want to just like stop and observe other people's art, but yeah, I think the big thing for me is just practice, so I can be more of a something that I do, so it's more like, so I'm more likely to do it reflexively in my actual art when I get to it. So yeah, I'm thinking that I should do more bird studies, you know, along with like learning the anatomy of certain animals. Okay. Let me fill these shapes in. But yeah. Part of me is getting into the mood for painterly art again, of course. But I'm not sure if I want to jump into it right away, or jump back into it right away. So what I mean by painterly is what I've been doing before the whole art fight thing. So, you know, actual like painting, digital paintings. You know, no line art and all that. Or like, if there's line art, then it's like applied at the very end. But yeah, I think I want to try working on more of a fusion of those two styles. Okay. Yeah, so okay, but right now I'm just kind of blocking in this. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do, though, but, you know. Sorry, it's like, I feel like I'm trying to talk about what I want to do with my art, and it's just like, I can't explain myself at all. It kind of sounds like nonsensical. But yeah, generally I would just want to think about the shapes of the shadows and the forms more. Sort of that mixture between the understanding the 3D aspects of your image or the along with the 2D aspects. So what I mean is kind of by thinking about both 3D and 2D is that the rendering is supposed to give the illusion of 3D. So what I'm kind of doing right now, but thinking about the 2D aspects, that's sort of like trying to be conscious of the shapes of your shadows and all that, like how it looks on the 2D surface. Looks how it looks with the composition on your 2D surface. So like the shape of the shadows and what kind of impression they give. Try to be a lot stronger with the shadows too. You know, when I was trying to like study some of the aspects of Frank Frazetta's art, that's what people tended to talk about when they mentioned that. Like how the strong shadows that he uses kind of adds to the composition. Like the shadows will usually be these big blocks, and then maybe some little spots that kind of reach out. Yeah, I need to like get back to trying to journal so I can, you know, organize my thoughts better. So hopefully I can like explain these things in a way that makes sense as I try to complain about. Okay. Anyways, let's just get back to work. Okay, so, but yeah, I'm still, obviously, as you can see, I'm still shading in the hair, so, you know, mostly trying to give shape to the strands of hair, zooming in and out to see how it looks in general. Okay. Admittedly, these are probably a little too angular, so I know I was like talking about having more angular shadows, but you know, some of these I think could be a bit smoother or smoothed out a bit. Also, she forgot a little bit of a cast shadow here, so gotta add some shading to the eyebrows. So let's try to get this right, and of course the scalp as well. I need to remember that. But yeah, I should probably smooth out some of these shapes. It's a little bit too angular now. Okay. Alright. Alright. So, yeah, smoothing this out. I don't want to smooth all of them out, of course, but yeah. You know, let's lower the saturation a bit. Okay, how about I add some this? I don't know. Just like some extra strands. extra shadows away from the line art to kind of imply more of the shapes. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So there's this. How about here? All right. How about a little more shading right here? Okay. Maybe some on the over here. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better. I don't know. Not entirely sure yet, but yeah. If you actually, I know I just said I'm good, but I'm not good. Okay. Yeah. No, I can't stop. No. Okay. Okay. Wondering if this should have a little less shading, actually. Okay. I feel like I'm like draining my drinks really fast. Okay. Sorry, I'm just stopping to observe real quick. It's okay-ish. How about I start working on the skin real quick? Okay, yeah, let's do some basic shading for the skin. So, usually like a really basic shading. So, you know, the nose, lips, just some the usual. Yeah, I'm not really used to backlighting. Okay, I think Mom's home. She's actually home all weekend, so. Or not weekend, but week, so. Yeah, there might be a little bit of noise in the background. Let's get some shading in. Hold on, sorry, okay. Yeah, she just came in, so. Apparently got gifted a pretty big flower, which is cool. Got a really big hibiscus. I think it's a hibiscus. Kind of funny seeing all these hibisci, as you know, I just bought that water flavor thingy, the blood orange hibiscus. Setting this to multiply real quick, and gonna lower the saturation. Okay. Okay, sorry, taking a deep breath. So let's see. Let's fill this in. Oh yeah, so the county fair is this week. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna go though, so I may or may not have spent a little more money on souvenirs than I probably should have, and finances aren't quite the best at the moment, but at the same time, it is the county fair. I don't know. Plus, I still need to like catch up on streams since I've like barely did anything this month. I don't know. Yeah, I just feel a little bit guilty about not being a good streamer. Okay. But yeah, so. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if people are losing interest, but no, maybe it's just a slow week. Yeah, sorry, I tend to just get gloomy really easily. But it's fine. You guys don't have to worry about it. It's just life. Okay, how about I add a little more of a shadow on this side of the face. Basically at the edge of the face. There. Alright. Actually, maybe I should, sorry, I'm trying to figure out the shading right here. Yeah, just kind of filling this in. See how it looks. Yeah, it's fine, I think. Maybe. Round this up. Oh, I keep screwing up the shape here. Okay. Actually, maybe I should probably add some shading under here. And at the very edge of the nose, a little bit of shading. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this to look okay. Okay. Trying to... Sorry, yeah. I'm just kind of trying to make sure the image looks right. I realize I missed this area, so... Yeah, zooming in and out is usually a technique that's recommended, because it helps you keep track of the general image. Okay. I'm gonna lighten up the hair shading real quick. Did I just... Okay. That was not properly flipped, so... Okay. It's fine. Okay. So shading. I'm starting to get hungry. Sorry, I think I already talked about this. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I haven't really had any breakfast, so I'm kind of dying. Yeah, a big reason why I didn't really do any art yesterday was just because of I didn't have like dinner until it was like really late, so plus I was, as I said before, I was like really worn out. Okay, so yeah, I tend to slow down a lot when I don't eat properly, so yeah, I'll make sure to get a snack when the next break happens. But anyways, let's just go ahead and start working on the clothing, shading on the clothing. So I'm gonna have this actually be kind of this cast shadow actually be kind of big because his arm is fair distance away. So okay, try to make a cast shadow for the head. So we got this. And there's a crunchy right here, so I'm just gonna take care of this real quick. Boop. All right. Back to the shading. Let's just boop, boop. Okay, there's a really big crunchy right there. So, okay, this has a gap, so let's try to be careful of that. Yep, fill that in, and try to clean this. Feels like a lot of areas get missed. Just kind of filling it in, to be honest. Alright. So there's our first big shadow. Okay. Now I've been listening to some Final Fantasy 14 music again, right before the stream. You know, I spent some time actually just listening to music, because I feel like I haven't been doing that too much lately. So I ended up doing a bunch yesterday night, and then, or listening to a bunch yesterday night, and then, you know, this morning. I just like listening to music. But yeah, I started listening to some Final Fantasy 14 music again, so. Yeah, they got really a lot of music for the bosses and raids and all that stuff in some of the dungeons is really cool. So yeah, I was specifically listening to one of the tracks from the Nier Automata Alliance raids. So for those who don't know, an Alliance raid is basically a really big group of people, so maybe like 24 people. But yeah, I was listening to one of the tracks from that, and like a Copied Factory, that's the one I was listening to. And yeah, it's a really cool song. Okay. Yeah, I really like how they have they incorporate the original Aroma Reborn opening or title theme into the track. You know, when I first heard that, I got like kind of actually emotional. So yeah. Yep. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to like color over some of these sections, by the way. Like you can kind of see how this is darker than the really dark areas. But yeah, that's a later issue. Okay, so try to make sure to have some shading around these little button things. Sorry, I just keep seeing all these crunchies everywhere. It looks so bad. I'm just filling it in with the exact same color. I don't care anymore. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I almost forgot this bit. Okay. Of course, you wanna... Yeah, I'm adding shading around the atoms and everything, so... Alright. Okay. Okay, need to stretch real quick, so... I wish I had arm tracking. I know I need to look into it. Also, ooh, this piece is looking very spooky. Nice work so far. Thank you. And I'm happy to see you again Tuesday. Sorry, I just noticed that the music's kind of loud, but... Okay, turn this down. But yeah, hello, how's your day going? I've been seeing some, a few character whips from you today. My day has been going alright, it's just been kind of it's been very quiet, and there's more crunchies. Oh, dang it. But yeah, I'm just kind of continuing my artwork, and hopefully I'll be able to finish it today, but, you know, I'm never really sure, so... It's been going good. Glad yours is going well. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I got to go on a nice trip yesterday, which is nice, so... You might have seen the photos I posted, but yeah, I went to the zoo, so... Got to see some animals. You know, I've been sort of trying to fulfill that work-life balance, so... Yeah. But yeah, also I was doing this painting this morning as a warm-up. So, warm-up / swan study, so it looks okay so far, but it kind of looks a little bit off. But yeah, I would like to continue that piece after the stream, so... But yeah, so right now I'm just kind of vibing. Oh, very nice, thank you. But yeah, so I assume you're working... You've been doing your OC sketches, right, lately? Since you've been posting them? How's that going for you so far? Oops, sorry, I'm just kind of somewhat focused on this piece and keep going over the line. Yeah, so right now I'm just trying to like mark out all of these or like try to add a little more depth to these hems. So I know I shouldn't go too crazy with it because sometimes these kind of details get lost, but yeah. Most of that is just older stuff, honestly. Currently working on comic stuff. I see. That's cool. Yeah, I wish you luck on your comic stuff. I know that working on comics can be pretty time-consuming and all that. I tried making comics in the past, and not like a series, like long-term series comics, just like little one-off comics, and I know I struggled with those back in the day. Okay. Also, I'm kind of hungry right now, so sorry if I seem a bit out of it. I'm gonna try and grab one of my protein bars after this, or when the next break comes on. So, because I usually try to align my breaks with the ad breaks, so people don't miss too much. But yeah. Okay. So I'm just trying to do this real quick. Oh, you're good. Take care of yourself. I see. Alright. I mean, the next ad break will be coming in like a little over 15 minutes, so I can hold out for that long. But yeah, so. But otherwise, I've been like thinking about birds a lot lately, so. You know, I've been kind of asking this question around to people, but I don't know if I asked you this or not, but do you have like a favorite bird that you like? I guess admittedly, for myself, I don't have a too strong of a favorite, but you know, I struggle to choose favorites. I do like blue jays a lot, and no, I like swans and cranes and a lot of stuff. Crow, I see. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, oh yeah, you got Corvin. Sorry if I hope I'm not screwing his name up, but it's been a long while, but yeah, I think his name is Corvin. Sorry, it's been a little while since I've seen him, but yeah, he's got his little collar. Haha, you're right, I see. Yeah, I remember his name sounding like Corvid, at least. But yeah, I can see you liking crows. Love the flamingo guy you worked on recently. Thank you. Yeah, that OC has been kind of sending me into a flamingo mode, so. I've been trying to like look up just like little flamingo facts here and there, so. But yeah, I think you might have seen it, but I did like do a flamingo study the last Friday. I actually tried doing another study, so here he is right here, but I'm not really thrilled about this piece. It's looks kind of blah to me, but I wanted to try and do a flamingo with his wings out. But yeah, I might have to do something else at some point. Okay, hold on. He does look. Just trying to fix these. Yeah, I have a lot of crunches in this piece. But yeah, I'm glad you like the flamingo guy. His name is Michele, by the way, so. And I was actually thinking about making more bird guys, but you know, I wanted to try and do the Doulahan piece first, because I said I wanted to do a piece that includes Dullahan and fireflies and stuff, so yeah, I'm trying to, you know, sort of trying to fulfill my actual, like, to-do list, so. I still gotta work on a sunflower piece too, because I wanted to do a piece that includes a bunch of sunflowers, but I feel like that one can stretch into September as well. I'm so here for birds and Dullahans. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the good old spooky stuff. Yeah. But yeah, lately I've been feeling like I need to do more Monster Boys in general, so hopefully I can get around to that properly. Yeah, though I'm still just not sure what I'm going to do about the sunflower piece. I feel like maybe I should include some actual OCs of mine, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure yet. I have my characters that come from like Chrysaeum, and who technically have their like the Lavaria OCs. I don't know if you've seen them, but I made character references for them earlier for like Art Fight, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't think they'd quite work because they do all, or most of them have like these Monster Boy forms, but you know, they only look like that during the nighttime, so, and not the daytime. And I was hoping for more of a piece that's kind of heavy on like yellow, so like sunflowers during the sunset. But yeah, probably gonna just invent another random character again, like I often do for these kinds of pieces. But yeah, I'll just have to think about it. Maybe I can like do a proper brainstorming session. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder what kind of birds would like to hang out in yeah, maybe I can do like another harpy character. So maybe I can like think about what kind of birds like to hang out in like sunflower fields. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Sorry, I'm just kind of yammering about my plans. I did talk a little bit about my zoo trip earlier, but yeah, I don't think I probably mentioned it enough. I was actually able to feed the giraffes there, so that's fun. And I got to see most of the animals there. Some of them were more hidden away, so I didn't necessarily get a good look, but I did also get a pretty decent look at a bunch of them, like that hornbill. I think I might have posted a picture on that. There's a hornbill there. I don't normally think about hornbills, but when I was there, that bird was like pretty kind of surprised about how much I like it. You know, it kind of very much captured the feeling of a dino bird. And the one bird that I wish I got a better look at though was this species of crane. It looked very cool and big from a distance, but yeah, I was kind of away from the edge of the enclosure, unfortunately, so you know, I didn't get to have a good look at it. The only animals that we didn't get to see were wolves, so yeah, we kind of spot the wolves where the wolves were. But almost everything else. There's also like this giant safari enclosure in the middle of the Africa section, which has a bunch of mixed species in there, and I think there were like a few species that we didn't see there, so but I'm not like super broken up about those, I guess. I did get to see a vulture, which is pretty cool. Maybe I can do a vulture harpy or something. Also, these look... There's a lot of crunchies around here. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, just seeing some of the issues with the fill tool lately. Okay. But yeah, so just almost done with the basic shading here. I'll also probably need to like darken the line art here for the body, so I guess we can see once I yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna try and erase some of these colors just because only like lightly, but yeah, erase some of the blue color and try to replace it with, let it be darker. Yeah, I'm trying to mess with the line art here to make it more, make it interesting and stuff. Sounds like it was a fun trip. Thank you. Sorry, I was focusing on my art piece, but have you gone in? Do you enjoy going to zoos, or is that not something you care about? I might be able to go to a second zoo too, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Like, we're probably going to wait until September before we do it. But admittedly, the zoo that we went to was smaller than I actually remembered it, so, you know, I was the one that kind of suggested the zoo, but yeah, we might go to a bigger zoo later this year, so, or next month, I should say. You know, it's the end of summer. We're getting close to the end of summer, so we don't really have that much time left. I haven't been to one in a long time, but I'd like to go to an aquarium soon. I see. Yeah, aquariums are really cool too. You get to see all these fish floating around. It's very much, you know, very much a vibe, I guess you could say. Yeah, a lot of yeah, the atmosphere in the atmosphere in an aquarium is quite an experience. It's very mystical. Yeah, I hope you're able to go to an aquarium soon. Get to relax and enjoy the fish. Okay. So let's go ahead and add some shading for the shirts. So, okay. Or the collar, I should say. The undershirt and collar. So I'm just adding a very basic shadow right here. Yeah, this should be a lot easier than what I just did. Yep. So, get rid of the crunchies, set this to multiply, lower the saturation. Let's see. But yeah, admittedly, I'm kind of guessing my way through with these, with the shading here, so. This isn't the most well thought out piece, but, you know, I just wanted its vibe, or to capture this vibe. So, yeah. Okay. But yeah, hopefully it comes out. I don't necessarily hate it or anything, it's just, probably could have thought this out better. Oh, hello, Super. My weekend was, well, the weekend wasn't the best, but, I did get to go to a zoo yesterday, so that was nice. Yeah, I got to yap a bit about some of the animals I saw. You know, I saw a bunch of birds because I've been very much in a bird mood lately, but I also got to see some giraffes. I got to see a kookaburra. That's also a bird, but what was my favorite? I think either the hornbill or the cassowary. You know, those birds were like really cool. You know, very much that dino bird look, or the, pretty much those birds that people like to call dino birds, you know, because they kind of look like dinosaurs. But yeah, also I keep forgetting to mention it, but I also got to feed some giraffes. So there's like this platform that you can like hang out, or like this platform that you walk on by on the boardwalk, because you know, the Africa section was basically a big circle that surrounded a really big safari enclosure, and in that enclosure there's a bunch of giraffes, and you can actually pay for some lettuce that you feed them with. So yeah, I got to do that with my mother yesterday, and that was pretty fun. But yeah, how was your weekend? Also, there's an ad break coming. I'll wait until it actually starts, but when that happens, I'm going to be going on a break too, probably just to get more, to refill my fluids and you know, get my my protein bar. Yeah. Okay. But I'm glad your weekend was nice. Yeah, it was actually really hot for us on, like, it reached like over 90 on the, I think, Saturday, but no, the yesterday and I think today is supposed to be nice. Actually, this week in general is supposed to be really cool, so, you know, I'm glad about that. But yeah, 90 degrees is like very hot in Celsius. Yeah, that's the measurement I'm going with, very hot. Okay. Nope. Uh-oh. Sorry, the music stopped for some reason. Okay. But yeah, sorry, I keep zooming in and out, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. I think I'm actually gonna start working on some of these trees, so I'm not going to get too complicated with the shading for the trees, but since you can probably see that there's already some level of texture, but yeah. And I forgot to put out multiply there. No, come on. Sorry. I pressed the back button and it just turned off the layer mode, not the... I meant to like get rid of the line because it looked pretty rough, but yeah, I kind of messed that up a bit. Alright, back to work. So yeah, right now I'm just trying to... I'm doing some clean shading, but I also might do some add shapes and sections above the line art, so I guess this is arguably a bit of a combination between the, you know, more of the painterly look and also at the same time the clean look that I've been trying to mess with in my art lately. I also need to add a color to these highlighted areas because I kind of forgot. Oops. And I erased everything. Oh well. But yeah, I'll worry about these highlights later. Okay. Let's see. What am I doing? That's the big question. All right. Okay. So just marking out these sections, and since the grass makes it really complicated here, I'm gonna just fill it in manually. So oh yeah, but aside from the sunflower piece that I'm kind of trying to plan out, I want to do a piece that includes flamingos as a decorative element, but I haven't really thought out the composition quite yet, or the actual subject matter. I was thinking maybe something kind of relaxed, a little bit vacation-y, a little bit of a summery looking. so probably a good idea to get that piece done before the summer ends. Yeah, I haven't really been the best about doing my working this month, as I said before, but I've just been doing a lot of trips and fun stuff, admittedly. So, but yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this in. Okay. Alright, alright. Let's see. Sorry, though. Wait, did the ad break already pass? Or... No, I think it's about to go on, so... Yeah, I'll go on my break, hopefully... let me check. Should probably check the actual stream manager. What's happening here? Sorry, it's not showing me this. Okay. Maybe I check out... Yeah, I think the ad is being delayed. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just keep going then. Because I wanted to align my actual break along with the ad, so... Yeah, I hope things are functioning here. Let me check my cell phone. Oh. There we go. Okay. So I'll go on my break now. Sorry, I got very confused right there, but... Alright, BRB. Okay. Okay. Art. Alright, I'm back, everyone. Just let me set things up a bit better. So, apparently learned there's treats galore right outside of here, so, you know, I went ahead and got myself a donut, so I'm gonna be munching on that pretty soon. You know, I used to be super into donuts, but, you know, it's kind of my main way of sustaining myself at work for a good while, so I'm maybe not quite as passionate. Hold on, but yeah, so I'm just gonna write out try to remind people that I'm at here, so oops. That's not quite the composition. For sure you guys can't see this, but I'm trying to take a quick screenshot of what I'm working on, and I'm just gonna post it to Blue Sky real quick, so try to remind people that I'm alive. Hope you don't mind. Okay. But yeah, still alive. Still. And maybe get my good old Twitch link. Control C. Okay. But yeah, I'll get back to work pretty soon. You're also probably gonna hear me shoving the donut into my face, so. Got a Long John with me, so for those who don't know, Long John is a type of donut that's a little longer, so it's a little more of a rectangular shape. Actually, it looks like this one dessert that I unfortunately can't remember the name of, but hold on. Yeah, okay. Can't remember the name of, but got you know, the little long dessert that kind of, I think the proper dessert's shorter, but, you know, it's filled with cream. It has that chocolate icing over it, then like some white icing that kind of drawn, or not drawn, but kind of like squiggly. Yeah, it's, hold on. Okay, sorry, it's like a mess. It's that one. Or like, it looks like that one. And, except or maybe not except, well, this is a donut version of that. And it's usually, the donut is usually like filled with cream. Actually, I think the Eclair, maybe? Eclair? Sorry, I'm trying to remember the name. Like, I'm thinking back to one of the Binging with Babish episodes that are kind of like based off a Simpson episode of like the world's deadliest dessert or something. Like a bunch of like chefs are trying to kill Homer Simpson. Sorry, I don't really have a history with watching The Simpsons, so. But I do remember watching that one Binging with Babish episode, so. Like Eclairs of Death or something. But yeah, I'm just gonna start biting into this. Okay. Yeah, just don't mind me eating a donut while I get confused on my own process. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of looks crappy right here, so try to make it a little sharper. Don't know if this donut is going to give me a moment of clarity, but hopefully it does help me think a bit better. You know, I still got my protein bar too, of course. Yeah, so there's also a lot of cinnamon rolls out there, but I'm gonna wait on the cinnamon roll because usually for those cinnamon rolls I want to like microwave them a bit, so you know, for like 30 seconds or actually 15 seconds. But yeah, just warm them up and kind of help myself But yeah, that's for later. So. I tend to feel, admittedly, I tend to feel a bit awkward trying to eat food on stream just because of the. I know it's usually recommended for streamers to kind of yap nonstop. So, of course, I'm not sure if people always care about that with art streamers. Like, at least people are pretty like forgiving with the art streamers just because of the. It's a bit. It can be a lot to yap and draw at the same time, but. Yeah, I'm not actually sure about the general attitude. Or how people feel about that generally, I should say. Okay, so yeah, here's where the good old confusion happens. Yeah, it's for the detail, it's for the definition, dang it. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna tell myself. So I have this area. Kind of okay. Sorry, I'm like, as I said before, kind of getting a bit quiet. But I'm gonna try and take a few more bites. I gotta be careful with my bites because this thing is very creamy. So, yum yum. Okay. I guess I was kind of watching YouTube while sitting in my bed because, you know, it's kind of how I do things. But, you know, kind of hearing more people kind of rant about how Labubus look. So, for those who don't know, I don't own a Labubu, but I've been feeling kind of nostalgic for when I used to do those little blind boxes. I know it's not like a very fiscally responsible thing to get, but I do kind of miss that. I used to get like Tokidoki, but yeah, I've been feeling a little bit nostalgic about that. And someone was just kind of complaining about like creepy cute stuff, so you know, that kind of put me back down that made me think about like kind of researching the history of cute things. So no, like maybe like look into creepy cute and just the general history, because I thought that'd be kind of interesting. But you know, that's going to have to be something that I do in my spare time. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. I kind of like the really dark shadows on these, but I know it's not. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep this right now, but thinking that maybe I should consider my shadows and all that. Actually, at some point, I'm probably gonna need to start actually like using adding more lighting and all that. I'm gonna open another art piece that I did recently. Like that one, this one. So I can try to remember how I do this stuff. So, of course, this one isn't perfect, admittedly, but okay. Try to remember how I do some of the shapes and lining. Not sure if that's the best idea or not, but oh, just for it, you know. Okay, let's just start shading the foliage. Actually, I forgot to name a bunch of layers, so usually just name it shade. My shading layer is a shade, basically. Okay. Actually, I name it as shad, but because I'm too lazy to add the E. But oh well. Okay. Yeah, so let's add one for foliage, and then I'll start working on some of the lighting. Yeah. Yeah, maybe have like a very soft lighting layer first, and then add the proper rim lighting. Technically, this is supposed to be backlit, but no, it's hard kind of struggling with that mindset. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start shading these things. I've also been kind of thinking about visiting this place that I used to go to as a kid, like a little nature center.
I'm sorry I won't be there to see it, but I don't want you
Because I remember like going there a lot with my
amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here.
family, because it's you know, it's like free to enter and all that. It's pretty nice. But it's just been so long since I've been there, so I think I was considering going to it like last Tuesday when I got home from the vacation, but decided not to in the end because it just felt a little bit lazy, to be honest. Probably should have though. Yeah, maybe I can go there next Monday, so because I know I have the time for that. Okay. Okay. I met this summer has been a lot more fun than recent years. So. Yeah, in the past I used to be a hardcore summer hater because I just don't like heat. Honestly, I still don't really like heat, but you know, I actually got to do a bunch of fun stuff. In the past few years, it's just been kind of, I've worked outside, so, you know, the high temperatures have been like kind of too much for me, and that's kind of where my disdain comes from. The chocolate icing from the donut kind of keep kind of gluing the napkin to the donut. Trying to be careful not to get myself covered in chocolate and cream. You know, I just, as I say that, I keep thinking like, I hope no one tries to make an innuendo out of this. I mean, I'm not really supposed to be I'm not a spicy VTuber at all, but yeah, it's not exactly a spicy channel, so I don't think anyone really thinks about that too much. Not against a few jokes here and there, it's just not I'm just not that spicy of a person, to be honest. Yeah, like the opposite of spicy, kind of minty. Not wholesome though. I wouldn't call myself really all that wholesome. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to think about the texture I want for these lily pads. Actually, let's make the shapes a bit sharper, just because it's supposed to be a bit of a spooky piece. Honestly, these weren't initially going to be textured, but thought I may as well. Okay. Alright, time to nibble again on this donut. Thought I was done with the cream, but it looks like there's more. Alright. So, yeah, and I'm just gonna add some more stuff to the edge right here. And, kind of funny how this is like the same color as the water right now. Oh well. Okay. Hold on. Just kind of putting down shapes where I feel like they would go. Okay. It's kind of rough right here. But I guess backtracking a bit, because I think I got pretty distracted, but, you know, about the cute stuff. You know, I just thinking back about Creepy Q and kind of feeling a little bit nostalgic, because I think that was, like, semi-popular when I was, like, younger. I don't think I was actually into that kind of thing when I was younger, though. Because I think I kind of did miss when, like, emo was, like, really big, so... I'm not sure if I would have gotten deep into it, but yeah, I know a lot of the a lot of my schoolmates were kind of trying to replicate those trends. You know, I got to see a lot of creepy, cute stuff back then, though, so that's why I was thinking about the emo scene. Yeah, I think that was kind of... Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that, like, a lot of there was, like, inspiration for that because of it. I might lower this saturation on these, for the opacity on some of these lily pads. Because I take a closer look and it's not that great. Maybe change the direction of this one. Yeah, I'm sorry everyone, I'm gonna delete these. You know, I feel like the concept was cool, it's just that it's not turning out. Maybe I can put down a few marks later on, but yeah, right now I'm just not gonna worry about it. It's not like it's meant to be the major focus, so... You know, it's already a pretty complicated piece. Oh god, there's my leg itches. My leg, it itches. It itches! Hold on. Ugh. Yeah, chica. Good little scratch. Alright. Okay, let's just finish this donut off. Get a nice drink of water and probably move on. Okay, so let's just... and I'll try and continue these lily pads. Okay. This cream is like really sweet. Has anyone else eaten something like so sweet that it kind of like makes it feel like your consciousness is fading it out? Because the cream is that kind of sweet. Like it's so sweet that it kind of stings, I should say. Admittedly, maybe a little overkill, but you know, I kind of like it. Just on occasion, though. Okay, and right now I'm just gonna add some more shadows to the here. Okay. Yeah, admittedly the shading here is kind of a mess. And I'm super zoomed out on my screen. Sorry about that. Okay. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start. Actually, I'm gonna drink my water and then we can go ahead and start the proper lighting. Actually, maybe it's a good idea to put over a saturation layer. Been forgetting to do that, but so what the saturation layer, for those who don't know, is so I can check the values of... Okay, hold on. Check the values of my art piece, so... Yeah, it's like very dark right now, so it seems like outside of the fireflies, the brightest part of the piece is actually only the half tones. And probably the skull... Actually, it is the sclera. Well, the shirt, or this part of the shirt is pretty light too, but Yeah, I'm probably going to want the room lighting to be a bit brighter here on the character. And that'll be after I do a very basic shading. Or very basic lighting. You know, kind of wondering if I can just like speed things up with by doing a general lighting. Actually going to try and use a bit of yellow here to see if that works. Sorry, overlay. Forgot to apply that. Sort of warm it up a bit. And it's just kind of a little bit of a nonsensical light source from above. Okay. Yeah, sorry, today's stream isn't super exciting. Actually, I don't think any stream of mine is exciting. Let's be real. Okay, just get this, yeah, sometimes I just want to bring the stuff out. It's a little blah at the moment, but I'll fix it by lowering the opacity. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of meh, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of meh. What time is it? Okay, looks like we're 2 hours in, actually, so... Yeah, maybe let's just backtrack. Boop. Sorry, I think I just need more water in general. I think that donut may be a bit thirsty. That was just my streaming. Right. My streaming endurance is so low now. Okay. But yeah, let's just except that I need to add more detail. So can add a little more variation to the lighting color as well. Okay. But I do honestly like to add more. Add more detail to the hair, so yeah, it's probably a good idea that I backtracked on that one. Kind of like to apply the brighter color to on the edges of the shadow. Trying to be a little more subtle about it too. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting kind of focused right now, so I hope you guys don't mind that. But yeah, so okay, I can't try to speak, but I can feel air keep feeling air coming up my throat. This kind of just sucks. Yeah, I think my voice is kind of starting to hurt, I'm gonna be honest, so. Sorry about this. Yeah, I need to go back to doing vocal stuff, or to vocal exercises, I guess. Vocal exercising and journaling, so I can explain the art concepts that I try to apply. That's not... Okay, this was actually the wrong tool. Whoops. Yes, the general fill tool and not like the fill tool the reference fill tool, yeah. So a little off topic, but I guess I've gotten a couple more rocks this week, so I went to the farmer's market so I can get myself basically a new rock, because it's been a while since I bought one, but I wanted to at least get one before the summer ended, because that's when the rock seller leaves. But yeah, I got a hunk of sulfur, so it's actually like a sulfur crystal, so it's like kind of a lemonade color. It's really nice. But yeah, so also after the zoo, we did make a stop at a rock place that has a billboard advertisement. Honestly, it was a really cool store. It's a bit kind of out of the way though, so definitely not going to be a normal place to travel to. Sorry, it's like as I was saying, I'm having a harder time speaking. Maybe I should look up what could be the issue here, or like my body rejecting me speaking, because it's like so weird. Yeah, this might be a shorter stream because of so I don't like screw up my throat too much. I still gonna stream tomorrow, so yeah, I haven't done a Monster Hunter stream in a while actually. How spooky. Hello Baptistar, thank you for coming. Yeah, it's continuing this art piece, so it's probably going to be the last stream for this one, but if I don't finish it on stream, then hopefully I can finish it later today. So but yeah, been working on this, and before stream I've been doing this piece, so I'm going to try and focus on art today for the most part. Maybe try to do a bit of gaming afterwards, because it's I haven't touched Monster Hunter in a while. But yeah, so how's your day going? Are you drawing anything fun right now, or are you just kind of chilling? But yeah, I'm just gonna continue this work. Right now I'm just kind of like adding some subtle or like subtle-ish coloring to or shading to the hair, so kind of the stolish brown. Honestly, I do like this color. I should probably work with brown hair more often, but yeah. I've already finished something, so I'm chilling. I see. Yeah, hopefully you get to chill, relax nicely. Sorry, I wish I could speak. But yeah, so outside of the bird studies, or like what I showed you already so far, I haven't really done that much. I meant to do more this weekend, but work kind of kicked my butt, and I also went to the zoo the other day, so the zoo was fun, but I was like very worn out when we got home, so I ended up not doing much of anything. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and lock in today. Since I've been like so slow this week, so slow this month, honestly, in general. I don't know, maybe, I guess I'm kind of doing a lot for the work-life balance, but yeah, I feel kind of guilty not showing up or not doing my stuff. But yeah, so what did you just finish, out of curiosity? Is it another mer person? Or is it something else? Okay. Sorry, I'm being a little bit quiet. My sinuses are kind of fighting against me at the moment, so it's a little bit harder to speak. But yeah. Also, I don't know if I asked you this, but do you have like a favorite bird? I might have already asked you that because of the. I've been asking it a lot lately. I got to see a cassowary at the zoo that I went to yesterday. So, in a hornbill. That hornbill was actually like really cool. You know, when we came in, I think I saw it with a feeder mouse because like it was just being fed lunch or something, but. You know, I had to use the restroom, so I couldn't, like, stay and watch. It's a character from the game Marvel Rivals, to be exact. I see. So, like, a superhero character, then. I haven't played Marvel Rivals, but I'm, like, somewhat familiar with the... Like, I'm somewhat familiar with Marvel. I don't really read their comics, though, so... I kind of prefer indie stuff, so... But I did used to watch the movies back in the day. Oops, sorry though. It wasn't moving right then. What character were you drawing, though? Unless you don't want to say it. Okay. I'm just gonna flip the canvas real quick, because I don't think I flipped the canvas once. Oops. Of course I don't normally flip the canvas as much when I'm doing, like, rendering for this kind of stuff. But, yeah, I really should have been doing that earlier. Oh, name Dagger? I see. Yeah, okay, I don't know them. But it sounds cool. Okay, hold on, I'm just trying to... I'm a little bit, in focus mode. Yeah, hopefully I can get this decently far enough, because, my throat's a bit more delicate than it used to be, so... I might have to end the stream on a little bit on the earlier side. Like, I'm still planning to stream for at least an hour, but... Yeah, try to not go too hard on myself since I've been kind of, as I said before, a little bit inactive. You know, trying to get back to it and all that. Oh yeah, so a little bit off topic, but I just remembered, you know, I tried doing traditional sketching again. Sort of been doing it lately, but you know, I managed to pull out my colored pencils and try to draw like a flamingo. However, I couldn't really finish it, so. But yeah, I've been kind of thinking that maybe I should do more traditional sketching / drawing. Because like at the beginning of this year, I was actually planning on doing that. Actually, I was planning on doing more traditional art streams in general, but I never really got around to that because honestly, digital is just a lot easier on me. Also, I'm just nervous about doxing myself because I'm one of those people that kind of shove my face into my artwork. So if I do that on stream, then people are going to know what I look like, so. Yeah, that's kind of why I haven't really been thinking of doing that. Also, just it takes a lot of space. The traditional art that I wanted to work on was actually more based in acrylic ink. So, but yeah, maybe I can think about that another time. Otherwise, I just kind of been vibing. It might be. I think part of the appeal for doing more traditional art, even if it's not like art that I show off, is probably just so I can practice more. Actually, I haven't really done any proper warm-ups this morning. Not, probably because I've been so focused on that swan piece. But yeah, maybe when I get a better grasp on birds, maybe I can do some more art that's outside of my comfort zone. Also, I'm just adding some light to the shadows just because I want to. Probably not accurate, but I feel like a lot of the lighting in this image is a little bit crazy anyways, so. Okay. All right. All right. Also, I just like how it looks when it's flipped from below, so. Okay. But yeah. Anyways, just trying to hit these areas. But yeah, so admittedly my streaming drive has just is a bit of a mess at the moment. Might have knocked myself out the streaming drive, I should say. So like, well, the small part of me doesn't care as much, but at the same time I feel kind of bad about not being as invested as I was before. Okay. But yeah, just kind of trying to rest. Observe the world, maybe focus on my art a bit more. And been yapping too much, now my coffee's getting cold again. Alright, let's just go ahead and put some basic shading over the skin. So, let's see. Oh, it's very much a skin color. A normal skin color right here. Okay. Yeah, I don't need it to be that bright, so let's see. Yeah, his skin is supposed to be gray because he's undead, so yeah, hopefully I can get to doing that. Actually, I might blend it out rather than have it be hard. So I'll just mark out the colors here, blend it out, maybe add more sharp lines at some point. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Okay, I did not put this as overlay. Whoops. Okay. Let's fix that. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I kind of noticed when I started going over the sclera, because it's kind of looked a little too dark. Okay. Been a little bit of a mess this stream, to be honest. A mess. Okay, let's get some lighting over here. Honestly, don't necessarily want too much implied highlighting quite yet. Still, it's good to be. Of course, I say good to be conscious of where the light's coming from, but yeah, I've not been doing that at all. Okay, I haven't been doing that this entire stream. Okay. Yeah, just kind of marking out where the brighter area should be. I usually prefer the lighting to be really soft on the skin, so that's why I'm trying to... That's why this part usually isn't quite like the other side. Okay. Anyways, let's just get the wet bleed blender on. Honestly, it's probably a good time to start adding more texture too, so usually the wet bleed blender is good for that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit boring at the moment. Like this portion of the art process. Yeah, kind of hoping that the things kind of pull together once I get the actual to the room lighting. Okay. So yep. Lighting this area, and the music has stopped. Whoops. Okay, what's going on? Trying to check this. Okay, that's just an ad. That's just a sponsored ad. Okay. Yep. Huh. Okay, that's better. Don't know why I did that. Oh well. Yeah, okay. So back to blending this out. Okay. Zoom out. All right. Looking all right. I think all rightish, I guess. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about what to do next. Trying to think about what I want to be done, honestly. Okay, so let's just add a overlay layer for the general clothing. And I'm just gonna start working on this. Light. Hold on. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, just feeling a little bit off today. Not horrible, but just feeling a little bit weird. Okay, that's the wrong layer. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I do not want it to be that saturated, so let's make it, or at least let it be a cooler color. Maybe gray, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna start off with a roughly lit sketch shadow, and then I'll use sharper lighting for the actual details, for more detailed areas, so like around the hems usually. Okay. Yeah, so you can see that I'm being kind of rough with my strokes. I'm gonna blend it out. Just kind of add a bit more lighting here, so. Yeah, I like the lighten up these shadows, essentially. At least the bottom areas. Since I imagine that it's kind of flowing out a little bit. Okay, so a little bit similar thing with the skirt down here. Just gonna mark out the lighter area a bit gently. And over here it's a bit less prominent because you can kind of tell it's kind of sucking in, so. Of course, around the hip here, it's a bit lighter. So here, and let me just kind of Yeah, so I'm being a little bit careful. Trying to be a bit gentle, even. Okay. And just trying to bring out this area a bit. Okay. Okay. Hopefully this looks alright. Yeah, try not to get too deep into this, but so gotta be careful about that. Okay. Yeah, I might need some general shading layers to darken this back down a bit. Well, at least there's that a little bit more complexity to this. Okay. Okay. My face feels a little bit weird today. Sorry. I feel like I'm just complaining a lot, but yeah, I feel like my skin's a bit rough. Probably need to wash my face after stream. Maybe I'll feel better when that happens. Okay. Adding a little bit more texture. And by the way, for those who don't know, I added some green to the end of his skirt because I thought it'd make him a little bit mossier looking. Actually, I was planning on making this piece a bit greener, but we'll have to see. No, I can probably do more of the fixing post-stream, but yeah. Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and start applying some heavier lighting. So basically just marking out the edges. Try to make the edges stand out a bit. Like, you know, seams and hems, and I forgot to blend this area out. Oops. Okay, not that texture. I don't want it that textured. Okay. Not quite that textured. And do the same. Okay, so mark out these areas. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm adding these to the sleeve area. Try to help these stick out a bit more. It's a bit messy, but hopefully that adds to the effect. Okay. Okay. Just being like, okay. Wonderful commentary, Viridian. Okay. Okay, did not blend this out at all either. Okay. Okay, by the way, there's a upcoming ad break as a fair warning to all of you. Okay. Dang it. But yeah, I feel like I'm planning to at least stream on Friday, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know if I still want to go to the county fair or not. Because I'm pretty sure it ends on the Saturday or Sunday. I can't go on Saturday or Sunday, but I mean, technically I probably can, but yeah, it might not be worth it on those days. Friday might be busier too, but yeah. And I wanted to make sure to come here today because I originally wanted to come on the Tuesday because it seemed like the best time, but you know, I decided to come here instead. All right. So we'll have to see. That or I can do like a short early stream and then just kind of leave afterwards. Like technically that's always an option. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not in the best place financially, so and kind of overspent yesterday. But at least I got a flamingo plushie. Okay. All right. Sorry, just kind of thinking about what to do. Light. Oh no, I forgot to turn on the fan for my computer. Hopefully it doesn't cook. Sorry, just also trying to keep watch on the upcoming ad break. I think I forgot to add the sharper shading, so let me try to fix that real quick. Basically the highlights, but highlights before the highlights. You know, carefully mark out everything. You know, trying to make the edges and stuff stand out so people notice them a bit more. Okay. Especially around the important features. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about what to do. Yeah, I'm thinking I need basically a general shadow. Or a very, like, overwhelming shadow. Okay. So, I'm gonna try and... Oops. Should set this to multiply. Yeah, I'm gonna put multiply over everything, and then, the ad break is starting, so... Alright. Don't really have any special needs that I need to... Actually, I need to get water. I'll refill the water and be back soon. Oh no. Okay, back in. Ugh. Okay. Alright, I'm back, everyone. Oh, gotta finish this real quick. Okay, since the break is actually going on right now, I don't yap too much, but yeah, I'm just trying to get some noticeable work done today. So, all right, let's clean up the cheese. It's a bit creepy looking, isn't it? Which technically fits the vibe, but this might be a little overkill. Okay. Yeah, just trying to hit everything except for these irises, actually, so. Okay. Might actually let these bits be a little bit lighter, actually. Okay. And we just kind of draw over the tree. Okay. Yeah, not worry about being too clean right there. Also, welcome back to everyone who has been stuck behind the ad wall. Nothing much happened, but, you know, I've been kind of just filling in this area as it was before. I kind of just decided to dip and grab some water, so. But yeah, I didn't need to do too much of anything this time. Yeah, the ad break definitely did not take its time this time. Okay. So yeah, this is a general shadow. And it's kind of insane at the moment. Actually, I should probably start erase part of it. Yeah, it's, you know, I need to erase part of it, but basically, I wanted to darken things up so the room lighting would stick out properly. So, of course, you know, I'll lower the opacity when it's time. But right now, I'm just trying to marking out the certain areas. Okay, and I'm using my concept art brush to give it texture. Also, I think I forgot the shade light. Forgot to add lighting to the hand. Oh well. Screw the hand, dang it. Okay. But yeah, let's just get to work. Okay. Yeah, okay. Try to bring a little bits back in. Also gotta be careful not to go over the lines, because this don't have the protection of a flipping mask here, so. Okay. So let's erase this area right here. And hopefully I'm not drowning out too much of the detail that I put in. But I have to I want to keep it stronger so I can actually tell what's going on. Also, I forgot to hit this area. Oh well. Or hit this cattail right here. Oh well. Not a big deal. But yeah, so potentially just cleaning things up. Not cleaning, but erasing things. Oops. Went over the line, that's okay. Just try to a little bit on the back side of this tree right here. Maybe actually thin it out a bit more. But yeah, just try to stick close to the lining here. Try to be a bit stronger with my pen pressure, because this is it's a little bit transparent, this brushes, especially when I have apply the pen pressure lightly. So, you know, gotta be conscious of that. Okay. Alright, so okay, that's probably should have done that up close, but I'm gonna add a bit of lighting to the sleeve here because I think a little bit of light will escape. Okay, just a tiny bit though, so don't add too much. Okay. Alright, so try to clean this up. And we start doing this side too, so. Oh, dang it, sorry. Yeah, we can erase a little bit down here. So, yeah. Yeah, trying to be, as I said before, trying to be a little bit careful. Careful with the process. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd have more energy today, so. Or that I'd be faster, but yeah, oh well. So apologies to anyone who's hoping for a longer stream. Actually, I'm gonna animate a bit to it here. See if this looks okay. Actually, maybe. So I'll lower the saturation a bunch. Okay, let's kind of got used to the really strong shading, only for it to kind of lose the effect. Actually, hold on a second. I'm just going to erase a tiny bit of it around here. Sort of imply the area closer to it. Imply that the area closer to it is the core shadow. Of course, it's going to be so light that it's probably can't see anything. Probably erase some of the, not erase, but crap. Yeah, I wanted to change. Oh, jeez, I wanted to change the tone a little bit, but I think I would. Yeah. Yeah, usually. Okay, that's too late. Yeah, I think I'm gonna mess things up a little bit. I'll have to deal with that later. Okay. But yeah, let's just get that room lighting done. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, it has to be under here, so let's name this room lighting. Room lighting. Okay. Yeah, I spelled it correctly. Worried I wrote room lightning or something. Okay, so have this set as add glow. Take some color from the background, and yeah. And I'll just start adding it. Okay. So, just trying to see about the shapes I want. Yes, alright, so. And right now it's gonna look super light because that's how I'm using add glow. I might lower the saturation a bit though. Well, not saturation, but the opacity. That and maybe... I don't know, guys. Okay. And I went over the line art. Oops. Okay. Yep, very quiet, very in focus. Hold on a second. I almost forgot. Boop. Nope. Boop. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Oops. Okay. 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 Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I feel like there should be a... Yeah, let's just put more of it here on top. And I keep going over it. Whoops. Amateur error. Amateur error. Okay. Okay. So we go here. We add it to the hand up here. And we can add it to the bump. Okay. Take a sip of my water. Okay. We're getting there. We are getting there. Okay. So, I can fill this in, or not fill it in, but erase some of it. It's kind of a... shape here is a little too even, so... erase part of it. Move it out. Okay. Oh, hey there, German Nightmares. Thank you for the raid. I don't know why this isn't going off. Wait, no. Okay, no one raided me. Okay. I don't know, my thing like flashed down. It said someone raided me. It's like, oh, it's not going off or something. No, it's because no one raided me. Oh, that's a little embarrassing. That's a little embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah, not sure why I snapped down like that. Darn you, OBS! Darn you! Okay, I need to clean this up. Okay. And I'm just gonna connect these two shapes because I feel like it needs it. Oh. Okay, so gotta get some. Can't forget the other areas. Sorry, I'm wondering if I should just strengthen it in general, strengthen the room lighting in general. Okay. Nope, hold on. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get things looking alright. Okay. Try to hit these areas. Try to hit this area. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. So, oops. Hit the wrong thing there. Okay. I think this should be a bit more limited. Okay. Sorry, it's probably a bit boring of a commentary here. Not exactly a commentator. I'm just getting kind of hyper-focusing on the art piece, so... Yeah, I'm not the... Hopefully you at least like the music, you know? Okay, we went over the line right here. Okay. So, get this. Of course, no, dang it. Sorry, I keep screwing up. Just trying to erase bits of it. Okay. Technically, the blue would technically the blue probably should have gone under the coat a bit, but I'd rather the room lighting kind of go further on the coat because it makes it look like it's going forward a bit more. And I'm just gonna go a little harder. Oh, what? Sorry. Sometimes like a Clip Studio kind of freaks out when I put my stylus down, and I'm not sure why. Kind of freaks me out a little bit when it happens. Like a little bit of glitchiness. Yeah, I'm just gonna add a little bit more to this hand. Okay. Almost forgot about this cattail. Actually, hold on. Sorry, things should be rim lighted. Rim lighted, that's not a word. Okay. Okay, it's not clean, completely filled right here, so. Okay. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of a blur to it. So blur. No, just small blur. Okay. Alright. So lower the opacity smidge. Yeah, and then the general shadow looks darker due to the comparisons. Or is it comparatively darker, I should say. Also, I just realized I don't know where my iris layer is. I tend to have a layer just for the iris, but not today, from the looks of it. Oh well. But yeah, at this point, they're probably going to just start adding a lot of glow effects. Hold on. I do want to soften the room lighting on the trees, though, because it's not the area of focus. Not like the... Like, I want this to stay kind of sharp, but yeah, the rest of the... Otherwise, I want it to be a little bit blurry. A little more blurry from the... around here. Okay. So just kind of like this, like that, like that. Okay. And then on the layer above it, I will... It's also the... wondering if it should be... Yeah, I'll have it be as aglow too, so... Actually, I might make the blue a little more saturated, but... Just kind of brush on some additional light. Make it a little more glowy. Okay. Alright, and this would affect the area, this area too, I think. Okay. Yeah, just maybe brush on a bit more in this area. Okay, too much. All right. So I'll name this room 2. Okay. So checking the time, it's almost 3 hours, so I might wrap things up, to be honest. Pretty soon, at least. I do think I want to work on certain areas more, though, so... Yeah, sorry I can't go on for longer. It's just kind of not fully into it. Kind of wondering if I should start tomorrow's stream with a little bit of art again. If you guys would be interested in that, I'm not sure. Part of me feels like the more interesting parts that would have, like me going over the lines and stuff, would have been better for today's stream, but I don't know. Not sure how interested you guys be into that. You guys would be for that, so you know, I have to think about it. Because after this, I do plan to go back to the Swan. As that's just what I'm sort of in the mood for right now. Okay, so anyways, D3, D4. Okay, and I'm just gonna add some more color to, and the music stopped for some reason. Sorry. Why are you loading so much? Is my internet okay? I don't know. Is it a YouTube problem? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's happening? Look, safe, safe, safe. Yeah, the computer heard me say I wanted to end things, but... Okay, what's going on with my browser, though? It's, like, kind of frozen here, so... Ugh! Really? Still on your guys' side, right? Okay, now the chat's reconnecting. That's on my phone. I might have to close the browser real quick. Okay, close the program. Okay, so I'm gonna have to reopen that, so... Oh, that's really frustrating. Okay, I just opened all my old tabs, so that's good. Yeah, come on, open. Alright, so I'm just gonna work on this a little bit more, and hopefully that's fine. Kind of wonder if the thing's unmuted. Gotta darken this. Kind of wonder if things are sort of unmuted on my... on the streaming tabs. I don't know. Okay, so this might be alright, maybe? I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of fill in a little bit of color. So, a little more green around the tops here. You know, a little bit of blue over here. Okay, that's too strong. But yeah, I thought I wanted to do some fun stuff with the line art, but yeah, I'll have to think about that later. hopefully at least have some sort of art for you guys later today, but I think maybe I should settle. I don't know. Hold on. Okay, I just turned this to add glow. Like the fireflies, I mean. Yeah, I still need to figure out the firefly stuff too, but... Yeah, I just realized that my... Yeah, screw it. Not even gonna say. Not even gonna say. Okay. But I might be in an okay place for the moment, so... Actually, hold on. There's gonna be a lot of glare effects today, isn't there? I'll do this over the lantern too. I'm just adding a... set it to multiply, just kind of a shading on this side, so kind of tone things down a bit. There. Okay, I'll name it Vin. Not really a vignette, it's just kind of putting things a little more under control, maybe. But yeah, this might be okay for the moment, so... You know, thank you everyone for coming today, and sorry that I lost so much energy at the end of the stream. It's just kind of out of practice. Okay, I'm trying to hide this thing. Okay. But yeah, I just took a screenshot real quick. Already saved, so let's just go ahead and start looking for our target. So hold on. Okay. Go ahead and start. No, mute. Okay. Okay. Alright. Did something happen earlier, or? No, it's exactly 3 hours. Okay. Yeah, I got worried that my stream quit, and I didn't notice, but... Okay, just kind of looking for someone to raid. Maybe I can go after someone new? I don't know. Usually prefer to go after fellow art streamers who are on VTubers too, but yeah, I'm just not sure quite right now. Okay. You know, let's just read. I'm gonna read. Sorry, this part always kind of... I actually don't remember who this person is. Let me check. Oh, yeah, it's this guy. Yeah, I'll give him a raid. I haven't been on his stream for a while, but we'll raid Rumby. Okay. Probably doesn't even remember who I am, but, you know, because I got raided into his stream. But yeah, let's just go ahead. So he's got some really nice art, though, so... Yeah. Alright, so thank you everyone for coming today and watching my stream. I hope the rest of your day goes well. I will be streaming again tomorrow for gaming at probably around 6 p.m. If I start earlier, then I might be trying to do more art, but then after that I'll be streaming on Friday at 1 p.m. maybe. I can't confirm, but since it's you know, county fair this week. But anyways, let's just set up the raid and you know, make sure to rest properly, and yeah. So I'll see ya. Yeah, okay. Yep, okay.